Hello everyone, welcome to the latest in KeySoft's webinar series on how to leverage landscape architecture software to save you and your team time and your firm money. My name is Ken Deese and I lead US marketing for KeySoft Solutions. Today we'll be covering KeySCAPE LandCAD's Hardscape and Paving capabilities. Nate Qualls, landscape architect and product support lead here at KeySoft, will share real-world examples of how you can automate hardscape design visualization and quantification. Without further ado, let me turn it over to Nate.
Thanks, Ken. Nate here. Thanks for joining me today. So today I want to talk about one module in particular, our paving module. It's not the biggest and most flashy module we have, but it's a good indication of the way that KeySoft thinks about software and the way we're preparing landscape architects for the future of BIM requirements and really gaining efficiencies in areas where computers lend that kind of capability, quantifying, counting, and drawing complex geometry that might be tedious for us otherwise. So today's objectives, I'd like to focus on these three areas: smart objects, kind of how we put objects together, how we tie data to objects, how that can make you and your firm more BIM compliant. We'll talk about the paving database and pattern library and how that helps organize the effort within your firm, and then how we can customize aspects of these libraries, labels, schedules, quantity takeoffs, that sort of thing. I also have three small demonstrations embedded here. We'll go through that and show a few different ways in which you can use the paving module to add some automation to your process. So topic one, why smart objects? So AutoCAD is really good at physically describing things. As we all know, we've all been using AutoCAD or an AutoCAD style drafting program for a long time to define X, Y, Z, how something is scaled, where it lives in space, how it's twisted, how it's rotated. What KeySCAPE adds to that is the functional data. So whether that's the manufacturer of a concrete unit paver, the model, the texture, even down to the subsurface conditions, like what are you using as a subbase and how do you quantify that material? Those are all things we can tie to smart objects. And what that lends itself to is the BIM process. I know this diagram is a bit overwhelming. It's complex. The main gist of it is that we're moving from that orange curve that represents a traditional design effort to the blue dotted line, which is a more efficient BIM process where you're making changes, you're modeling things earlier in the design phase when changes are cheap and errors can be caught early, and reducing your client's costs for construction in the long run. So while we're creating BIM compliant objects in the background, you're not really doing anything different. I mean, yeah, our workflows, you might modify your existing workflows a bit, but this all happens in the background, kind of without even kind of an invisible partner, if you will. So some of the things we can do with smart objects: we can do dynamic scheduling. We can keep track of complex areas, takeoffs, costs, quantities that update in real time as you change your design. This also enables rapid revision. So if you find out that one manufacturer's product isn't going to work, you can quickly swap out that specification and say that paving pattern very fast. This also enables you to create libraries that you can own and store on your servers, more easily communicate your designs to your consultants, your contractors, and the end users, and also achieve BIM compliance, like I said, whether you're dealing with architects using Revit or some other BIM interchange format. We can also export to IFC. So let's look at a demonstration of one way to use this tool. And this is a very early stage, here, let me keep that going, design, we're looking at just basically impervious versus pervious cover. Maybe this is a permitting exercise. Maybe you're just trying to get an idea of some really early costs. So we're not really tying a ton of data to these, and we're really just exploiting the paving module for its automation and its accuracy. So we're able to, say, quantify the square footage of all these buildings, have that scheduled automatically. As the architect maybe adjusts that, we can automatically update our takeoffs. Here I'm going to create a new takeoff for the asphalt areas, or the drive in this project. So I'm creating a new description for that. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to grab, I've already grabbed that boundary, and I'm going to place a label. So the problem here, though, is that there's some internal islands that are, grass or planting areas. So we need to remove those from that area. So we're going to quickly do that. We're going to keep our original geometry. There's an option to delete that, just if you want to use only the KeySCAPE line work. But I like to keep my original line work there just for reference. And let's add a couple more islands as well. So this is nothing you can't achieve in AutoCAD, but we're adding automation and accuracy to that capability. So now we really understand what the balance, the impervious area of the site actually is. And these labels, these schedules, all highly customizable with your firm's preferred text styles and the information that's most important for that application. So here I'm going to adjust the pool deck a little bit just to show that the numbers update as I redesign that area. Great, let's move forward. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is how you manage your design, how you manage this data. And one of the key things to our software is that you own your data set. It's yours to develop, to create a proprietary library that adds value to your projects and adds efficiency to your processes. They aren't located on a cloud. You don't need to access a third-party database. These are yours to share in your firm on a shared server, whether that's one office or maybe you have multiple offices across the United States. It also gives a lot of benefits when you're have a repeat customer or repeat client who has a preferred paving style. There's some products they really like. You can library those and quickly reference those into the next project that they might bring you. As I said, you can share this data with your design team. This also lends itself to unifying CAD standards overall. So just creating better construction documents by having established standards and a framework in place to store those standards is one of the benefits of using KeySCAPE LandCAD, not just in the paving module, but also planting, surface modeling, site analysis, is having a place to store all that, those good standards you've worked hard to make your drawings reflect your brand. So sharing a database enables you to make quicker, better design decisions. It gives you more flexibility amongst its stakeholders in the design team, and it eliminates a lot of time wasted when you're hunting for past project examples, researching preferred paving material, or just recounting or drawing paving patterns. So this is our second demonstration, and our first one was more of a conceptual design, really early stage feasibility. Now we're moving into more of a schematic quantification of this design. So instead of just impervious areas, we're looking at actual objects. So right now I'm going to quantify some retaining walls that I'm going to need on site. So we're getting an area takeoff from this that we could easily multiply by our height to get the wall footage. I have some different types of retaining walls in the site. Some are 12 foot, some are 8 foot, some are just little wing walls between driveways to help take up some grade. but we can quickly and dynamically tag those, draw a leader if need be. It might not be important to label all these at this point in the process. This probably is more for an internal review, internal discussion, kind of a working drawing. And that's another point I want to make is that KeySCAPE allows you to work with one source of truth throughout the process, the design process. So from the early concept design and feasibility studies through construction documentation, you're able to address these objects as an iterative process, adding data to, say, retaining walls or to paving areas as you make those decisions, as you do some research on what's available in the market. There's no reason to start from scratch ever. So here we're tagging some more 8-foot retaining walls. That's going to go ahead and update our takeoff. This is a very simple takeoff schedule. There's a lot of data I'm not showing yet, but we'll show it in the next demonstration in this presentation. But we've showing what's important right now. So you can have multiple schedule styles for multiple phases, and they can all exist in the drawing together if you like. So let's add our ADA ramp retaining wall there. And this is going to be a new category, so I'll name it something unique. There we go. Place the leader. And cloning, the clone tool really helps speed this stuff up too, so I'm not repeating all these specifications over and over again. I just do it once, and then I pretty much copy the specification around to other objects. And if you have set in on our other presentations, you'll see some similarities here to the SoftWorks module, where all this automation is happening, all these schedules are set up. And please check out our YouTube channel with the other presentations if you are curious about more details regarding how we address BIM compliance, the advantages of using KeySCAPE over just plain AutoCAD, and then we'll have an upcoming presentation regarding surface modeling and site analysis next month. So now we've moved on to these little wing walls between the townhomes. I don't want to label each one and be very busy, so I'm just going to quickly clone over and over again here. And I think everybody's getting the point of kind of this phase, this schematic phase, and the value that this paving module can add. So the third topic that I want to address is again that automation and how we do that, and what are the advantages of having that capability. And it's really all about giving you time back to do what you do best, which is design, not spend time counting, not spend time drawing complex paving patterns. But also, we don't want your designs to look generic or look like they were designed by Keysoft. We want the design to have your firm's look and feel, and your unique approach to projects that your firm takes. So we have a high level of customization around creating these paving pattern libraries, the call-outs for paving areas, the schedules, and again, you're able to carry these throughout the design process, so you're never doing rework between design phases. The advantages of having our software manage these specifications is, being able to shift that effort and time back to the design phase, being able to avoid blown budgets because of late stage revisions or having to update a lot of construction drawings. We're easing coordination amongst the team members and avoiding a lot of rework. And at the end, I think it's a more accurate product, so you're less prone to field changes that can be embarrassing to the firm and also add costs to your client. So in this third and last demonstration here, I've progressed into a probably design development, approaching construction documentation level. And I've laid out some paving areas graphically, and you can see on the screen that there's some edging, there's a some CMU kind of plank style decking here in this outdoor pavilion. And now I'm going back and adding that specific manufacturer data to those objects, and then I'm cloning them around the site in other locations where I want to use the same product. So again, I'm placing these labels on each object I create. You don't have to. It just helps me know which ones I have tagged and where I am. And you can see here that I'm starting to fill out this paving schedule. Now it has a lot more information on it. It has description, the manufacturers and products, and it's even estimating the number of units it's going to take to achieve these patterns. If you have questions about how we created these patterns, we have some more detailed instructional videos on our YouTube site. But basically, you can create patterns from scratch using any dimensional brick or block or pattern. All you have to have is something that is repeatable, that tessellates in some way, shape, or form. Tell the program what that repeating pattern is, and the direction of how it repeats, and it will automatically lay this out for you. So here we've got the same edging over here to define another planting area. You can see that we've got some, the joint on that corner is a little strange, so we're going to go in and adjust the dominance of that. And so now it's a mitered corner, more like how it would be installed in the real world. And we can adjust the baseline and the setting out point for that pattern as well if we want to make that intersection closer to a whole unit, not just a segment of a unit. Now we're going to go into the pool deck area and look at some of the options I have built into my library. So I have a few Unilock things. I like using their stuff because they publish some great hatch patterns, and from those hatch patterns I can build out KeySCAPE patterns that you never have to worry about scaling because they're drawn dimensionally correct in the first place. It's just a great way to articulate your design intent to a contractor and get better quantity takeoffs for your cost estimation purposes. You may not use these very detailed, complex, dense paving areas on your final construction documentation, but it's nice to have for a detail sheet or internal working documents as well. So here I'm specifying a pathway, which is one of the three objects we create. We do paving areas, which is an area-based takeoff. We do edging, which is a linear-based takeoff, usually around a paving area. And then we have pathways, and these follow a center line and have a defined width, and in this case, a serpentine path for ADA access. We're able to do a really complex brick pattern and automatically have it lay that out for me with a defined grout line or spacing between the units. So that's a quick taste of what paving can do. Some kind of alternative ways to use the tool for better overall quantity takeoffs and cost estimation, as well as design itself. Why use this tool? Like I said, we want to shift the time effort forward in the design process where changes are cheaper and mistakes are easier to catch and rectify. We help unify your office standards, and we're, without any extra effort, we're helping to future-proof your firm by working with a software suite that's BIM compliant, enabling you to better work with architects using Revit or use IFC to exchange data with other programs. And really, the reason we do all of this software work is to allow landscape architects to focus on their core competencies, not counting plants, not counting pavers, not redoing cost estimates or spending as much time redoing that work, but really focusing on what you went to school for and where your firm really adds value to your clients, which is design. Thanks for joining. I'm going to hand it back to Ken to close us out today. And thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Nate, and thanks to all of you for attending. We hope that we've demonstrated really just how much time and effort KeySCAPE LandCAD, Hardscape, and Paving module can save you, and then KeySCAPE LandCAD as a whole as we've moved through the webinar series. We hope we've been demonstrating how the tool can help you take on more projects, complete your projects faster, increase your design quality and your quality assurance and accuracy, and give yourself, associates, and designers times to focus, as Nate said, really on design. So look for your invitation to our next webinar, which is on Tuesday, May 23rd, for our session on site analysis and surface modeling. If you'd like more information, you can contact Mike Schumann at Keysoft Solutions right here, as you see. And for all of us here at Keysoft, thank you very much.